There's a quiet revolution happening right now, and it begins with choosing to be alone. In a world that never stops talking, being alone is often misunderstood. We confuse it with loneliness, isolation, or even rejection. But solitude isn't the absence of connection, it's the presence of self. And learning to embrace our own company is one of the most radical acts of self-love and growth we can offer ourselves. From childhood, many of us are taught that being alone is something to avoid. Whether it's the kid eating lunch by themselves or the adult who's single at a party, we often equate solitude with sadness or failure. Social media intensifies this message. If you're not surrounded by people, likes, or noise, you must be missing something. But here's the truth. Constantly being around others doesn't guarantee connection. In fact, we can feel most alone in a crowded room if we've lost touch with ourselves. Choosing solitude is not about pushing people away. It's about learning to be whole without needing constant validation, entertainment, or distraction. It's about reclaiming your inner world. When we allow ourselves to sit in stillness, without filling the silence, something powerful happens. Our thoughts become clearer. We start hearing the voice beneath the noise, the one that's been trying to tell us what we truly want, what hurts, what heals, what matters. In solitude, we can reflect honestly on where we are and where we're going. Reconnect with passions and creativity, hear our intuition more clearly, process pain or confusion we've been too busy to face. Reset our nervous system and reduce overstimulation. Solitude gives us the space to check in with ourselves, to ask, am I living the life I want? Or just the one I think I should? Think of the person who walks in nature every morning, not because they don't have friends, but because they crave connection with something deeper. During those walks, they begin to notice how their body feels, what their thoughts are saying, and what emotions they've been ignoring. This quiet habit becomes a sacred ritual of reflection and grounding. Or the woman who takes herself out to dinner, savoring her own company with the same presence she would give someone else. She orders her favorite dish, reads a book, and enjoys the moment without needing to entertain or impress anyone. Or the man who pauses social media for a month and finds that he sleeps better, creates more, and feels lighter. With less comparison and noise, he rediscovers what brings him joy without needing an audience. These aren't signs of disconnection, they're acts of deep reconnection. Alone doesn't mean lonely. It's important to make this distinction. Loneliness is the painful feeling of lacking connection. Solitude is the peaceful experience of choosing your own company. And here's the paradox. The more comfortable we become with solitude, the less lonely we feel. Because we stop depending on others to fill the emptiness, we've learned how to fill it ourselves. You stop asking people to complete you, and instead, invite people to complement the life you've already built. What solitude teaches us self-reliance. We discover that we are enough. Our own thoughts, time, and presence are not empty. They're full of life and insight. Clarity. Stepping back from noise helps us make better decisions. We begin to understand what we want versus what others want for us. Emotional regulation. Without the constant stimulation of others, we learn to sit with our emotions instead of reacting. We respond with thought instead of impulse. Creativity. Many artists, writers, and innovators say their best ideas came during solitude. It's where inspiration often lives and blooms. Freedom, solitude breaks the chains of approval seeking. We stop living to impress and start living in alignment with what's true. If you're new to being alone, start small. You don't need to go on a solo retreat to reclaim your inner world. Take short walks without your phone. Just notice your thoughts and surroundings. Have a tech-free morning or evening once a week. Let yourself be bored, then see what comes up. Journal for 10 minutes a day. Ask, how do I feel? What do I need? Try solo activities, reading in the park, eating out, going to a museum. Sit in silence. No music, no podcast, no scrolling, just you. Let solitude become something you choose, not something you stumble into. Make it intentional. Make it sacred. The myths that keep us from being alone. Myth: being alone means you're unlovable. Truth: being alone means you love yourself enough to spend time with you. Myth: you can't grow without community. Truth: community is important, but growth starts within. Solitude is the foundation of all meaningful connection. Myth: people will think something's wrong with me if I spend time alone. Truth: people already think. Let them. What matters is what you think of you. When we stop running from ourselves, we find peace, not the absence of problems, but the presence of perspective. Strength: you've survived your worst days. You can face your own silence. Authenticity: you remember who you are beneath the noise. Joy: the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't depend on anything outside you. Direction: when you sit still, the path forward often reveals itself. Here's what many people overlook. When you are comfortable alone, you stop clinging to others. You stop needing them to fix, rescue, or validate you. You show up more whole. You listen better because you've listened to yourself. You love better because it's not about filling a void. You give better because you're not giving from depletion. Solitude helps you enter relationships from a place of abundance, not desperation. A final word: solitude isn't a punishment. It's a gift. In solitude, you won't always feel comfortable. At first, you might face restlessness, boredom, or even fear. But push through those first waves. On the other side is a deeper, steadier version of yourself. And once you find peace in your own presence, no one can take that away from you. Because when you stop fearing being alone, you start becoming unstoppable. So take that walk. Turn off the noise. Breathe into the quiet. Choose yourself. And remember, you are not alone in being alone. Let you flourish, because your best self is waiting to bloom.